create beauty and defend it.
Since the scanners first rolled in, they've been flipping what the people begin. Talking heads on scripted points, while real issues get dismissed and disjoint.
Hi, my name is Jason Page, and I've been doing research on the Board of Elections in Chicago, particularly the machine logs of the ballot scanners, the optical ballot scanners, since 2014. I've had a long voyage with the Board of Elections and getting that data. It wasn't easy at first. And while it'd be nice to get the national data, the FEC does not release that information. So what I found for the 2020, the 2024, and the 2026 elections is that there are twice the number of successful ballot scans than there were people voting those days. And a successful ballot scan is a ballot that scans successfully. Nowhere in the logs does it say what was voted for. It just says ballot scan success or ballot scan failed. And there's a bunch of other log information there as far as what the machine is doing at the machine level. And that's designed that way for doing audits. My very first FOIA request for the Board of Elections in Chicago for the machine data, I typed this on an Oliver Type 9 typewriter because at the time I liked the nostalgia of typing FOIA requests on an actual typewriter. The Oliver Type 9 was manufactured in Chicago, and the building still stands to this day in downtown Chicago. In this FOIA request, you will see that I request the timestamp to the second of every transaction of the machine logs of every ballot scanner in all 50 wards of Chicago. The original FOIA request response was that they do not have access to that data. They don't have it in their possession. So I had to fight that. And I got a FOIA lawyer to add pressure to them getting me the results that I asked for. It turns out that they're obligated, upon a request from the public through FOIA, to ask the vendor for that data and get it from the vendor. So technically they're not in possession for it, but they're obligated to get it when requested. Here you will see that originally I intended to use Benford's law, which is a statistical model to identify fraud. It's used to identify fraud in financial sector. The IRS uses it on big corporations to identify if any of the books are being cooked by the corporation. It's also used in research papers to identify fraud and research data results. So what I use here is not on election results. That's already been disproven. Benford does not work on election results. What I'm looking at is the differential in the number of seconds per successful ballot transaction and comparing that to the Benford curve. Benford curve states that the number one digit appears around 30-something%. I think it's 30%. And if it deviates from that for the first significant digit when looking at the total number of second differential between ballot successful scans, then that could suggest that something is being cooked. When I looked at just the Benford results, I saw quite a bit of deviation for the 2020 election and a significantly less deviation from the 2024 election. But the thing that stands out the most is just scratch whole Benford law thing. The biggest concern is that you've got twice the number of successful ballot scans and you have people voting that day. That right there should add pause and raise eyebrows. Because what is twice the number of extra votes there for? Those are phantom votes that are at the machine level. Let's dial back to 2004. There was a programmer for Diebold that spoke and testified before Congress, a congressional hearing.
I'm a computer programmer. Mr. Curtis, are there programs that can be used to secretly fix elections?
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I work for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And when you say did just that, it would rig an election?
It would flip the vote 51-49 to whoever you wanted it to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
Would the Board of Elections of any of these precincts, jurisdictions, know what's going on? And he said no. And they asked, well, how can you find out? You either have to look at the machine log receipts, which is what I request for the FOIA request, and do an analysis and check some, or you have to do a subpoena on the source code of the election machine to see if there is code in there that's designed to flip the vote.
That program that you designed be something that elections officials that might be on county boards of elections could detect?
They'd never see it.
Mr. Would you answer that question once again?
They would never see it.
So how would such a program, a secret program that fixes the election, how could it be detected?
You would have to view it either in the source code, or you'd have to have a receipt and then count the hard paper against the actual vote total.
In this case, we have phantom votes. So we're oversaturating people that actually voted that day with phantom votes. So we have to look at the source code of these ballot machines to identify what the heck is going on. And so far, nobody has done that. Nobody has subpoenaed the machine level code of these ballot scanners. It's all proprietary. It's owned by companies and is protected. That's my status and testimony on the Chicago Board of Elections and apparent fraud that's going on for who knows how long. Perhaps since the beginning in the 1990s when optical scanners started to come on the marketplace.
Joins proprietary code, locked and sealed. No one sees the hand that steals. Count goes up while turnout stays flat. That's the clown vote. Tip of the hat, clown vote. Clown vote. Laughing while the people choke.
Create beauty and defend it.